ראש הממשלה הבא.
בוקר טוב, אדוני ראש הממשלה, ברוך שובך מהמשימות החשובות. אנחנו רוצים לאחל לך בהצלחה בכל מה שתעשה. אנחנו זוכרים את הימים שישבת פה, רגע לפני התקיפה באיראן, ורגע לפני
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu gave a testimony on Monday, July 14th, in his ongoing corruption trial. December 2024 was the first time Netanyahu took the stand in what is now a long-running corruption trial. Netanyahu was indicted in 2019, and 3 charges were leveled at him: bribery, fraud, and breach of trust. Netanyahu became the only sitting prime minister in Israeli history to be indicted. The trial, which began in 2020, but several hearings have been postponed due to the wars and unrest caused by Hamas's October 7 attack in 2023.
It's not the right moment to do politics. I mean, yes, this government needs to be toppled, but not in the midst of an existential fight for our life.
Netanyahu's stance has been the same: not guilty. The Israeli Prime Minister denies all 3 charges, and here's what you need to know about the cases against Netanyahu. Case 1000, fraud and breach of trust. Netanyahu and his wife has been accused of wrongfully receiving almost 700,000 shekels, worth around $210,000, as gifts from a Hollywood producer named Arnon Milchan and an Australian billionaire, James Packer. Prosecutors have said that the gifts included champagne and cigars, and that Netanyahu helped Milchan with his business interests. Case 2000, fraud and breach of trust. Netanyahu has been accused of negotiating a deal with Arnon Moses, owner of Israel's Yedioth Ahronoth newspaper. The accusation is that Netanyahu made a deal with Moses for better coverage in return for legislation to slow the growth of a rival newspaper. Case 4000, bribery and fraud. The Israeli Prime Minister has been accused of granting regulatory favors worth around 1.8 billion shekels, or about $500 million, to Bezek Telecom Israel. The allegation is that Netanyahu sought positive coverage of himself and his wife Sarah on a news website controlled by the company's former chairman, Shala Elovich. Netanyahu has been charged with bribery, fraud, and breach of trust. The 75-year-old Netanyahu denies wrongdoing, saying the charges are a witch hunt orchestrated by a hostile media and a biased legal system out to topple his lengthy rule. Netanyahu accuses his political opponents of trying to achieve in the courtroom what they failed to do at the ballot box during his nearly unbroken 16 years in power, the longest by any Israeli leader. In fact, Donald Trump has called the trial against Netanyahu a political witch hunt. Trump took to social media to hit out at Netanyahu's opponents. In Israel, bribery charges carry a prison sentence of up to 10 years and a fine, while fraud and breach of trust are punishable by up to 3 years in jail.